The Miami Dolphins take on the New England Patriots this Sunday at 1 p.m. Looking to get one game closer to 500. They're currently sit at 4-6 and far out of the playoff picture, but a win against New England would be huge. I'm here to break it all down. Before I hop into today's video, go to thedolphinsdive.com for the best Dolphins merch out there. I'm running a limited time exclusive sale on YouTube. Use code YouTube for 20% off your entire order. Shirts, mugs, hoodies, any Dolphins merch you'd like, it should be available over there. Without further ado, we're gonna hop right into today's video, starting with the Dolphins offense versus Patriots defense. Now, the Dolphins offense in points per game is 27th in the league, but as we all know, that is skewed due to the 4 games that Tua Tagovailoa missed.
Are we sure? Are we sure? I mean, are you really sure?
Since Tua has been back, the Dolphins offense has been one of the best in all of football.
Stop the cap.
Patriots defense is 18th in points allowed. We know what this Patriots defense brings. They're consistently very good. Obviously, the switch from Bill Belichick to Jerod Mayo has caused the defense to not be as good as it has been, but they're still quality despite the rest of the overall team lacking in talent. In terms of the running game, the Dolphins offense is 11th in rushing yards per game. It's something they got established very well while Tua was gone, but the past 2 games without Alec Ingold, we've seen impact this running game as we haven't had that much success on the ground. But nonetheless, the Dolphins are still 11th in rushing yards per game. Patriots are 20th in the league in rushing yards allowed, so their run defense isn't the best. I don't expect Alec Ingold to be back this game. He was asked by the media if he was going to be available for this game, and he said it's probably going to be closer to a game time decision. My guess is that if he had to play, he would. I think the Dolphins staff doesn't want to cause re-aggravation, and I feel like they feel confident they can win this game without him, so they're going to save him for the clutch matchup that we have upcoming this Thanksgiving against the Packers. In terms of passing offense, the Dolphins are 23rd in passing yards per game. Patriots are 20th in passing yards allowed. Dolphins number probably a little skewed, but I mentioned it in last week's video, and it continues to come to fruition how this Dolphins passing attack has leveled up. We know what they can do with the big plays we saw last year. Defenses are doing everything in their power to limit those big plays, and the Dolphins can show that they can sustain 10 to 15 play drives as they've been doing it on a consistent basis, week in, week out. And a fun note, I know I get a lot of messages when I'm on TikTok or Twitter, wherever social media people like to interact with, asking what's going on with Waddle, what's going on with Tyreek. They're still the same dudes. They're still getting open. It's just the Dolphins offense is getting the ball out quickly in the timing of the play. So there was a lot of, even Jonnu Smith's first touchdown of the game, it could have gone to Waddle for a touchdown. There's multiple instances of Waddle flying wide open, but the ball's already coming out. I posted it on my TikTok and Twitter, a scenario where Waddle made his cornerback fall, and if Tua didn't already get the ball out and the ball went to Waddle, there's a chance with the ball in his hands in space he could have scored. So Waddle is still that same dude. I trust this coaching staff. They paid him for a reason. He is still that dude. It's just the ball is getting spread around. I believe 9 different receivers caught the football. So I am not concerned about Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. This offense has leveled up, and as a result, the ball is getting spread around to the obvious targets. I would like to see Waddle get more involved. As I've been mentioning, he is getting open. So I expect that to potentially be an emphasis. These coaches watch the film too. They know that Waddle is getting open. So I expect, maybe not against the Patriots, but I expect Jalen Waddle to have a big game in one of these upcoming weeks. In terms of the Patriots passing defense, they're ranked 20th in the league, so not the best. They obviously have the stud in Christian Gonzalez. Their pass rush isn't anything special. But they're just a multiple defense. They'll run different coverage looks, different fronts, and try and confuse the quarterback. Obviously, we do know Tua's track record against this defense is very good. He does a good job of limiting the mistakes and just operating the offense on a clean level. So obviously the keys to beat this Patriots defense is just to continue doing what this Dolphins offense has been doing. We've had extreme amounts of success despite the running game not even working that great. Ideally, in a perfect world, we are able to establish that run game early and continue to go to that well. Like I said, as we've seen the past few weeks without Ingold, it hasn't looked great, but try to get the ground game going and just continue to do what they're doing offensively. If they want to play a too high shell, then get the ball to Jonnu and Achane in the flats. If they want to risk it and play single high and put that safety over Tyreek, then hit Jalen Waddle for a go route. So this Dolphins offense can win in multiple ways, as we've seen, just to continue doing what they're doing, play good, clean football. We can't afford turnovers. When you turn the ball over, that leads you susceptible to losing to a worse team. So do what you do, protect the football. Dolphins should walk out of here with a win, specifically on the offensive side of the ball. Players to watch for this Patriots defense, as I mentioned, they are still a quality unit despite the rest of the team not being great. As I mentioned, Christian Gonzalez, one of the best corners in all of football. Kyle Duggar, one of my favorite safeties. Every time we watch the Patriots play, he's just a stud. Flies around the football, hits, Big fan of Kyle Duggar. Keon White is one of their edge rushers. I would say he's a pass rush specialist. I think he leads their team in sacks. Not the best edge rusher in the world, but he's a quality player. Christian Barmore finally coming off of the injured reserve, I believe. He had blood clotting or something like that scary. So I'm happy to see Christian Barmore back. Hopefully the Dolphins can keep him maintained, but he's a very good player just coming back. And then Jelani Taivai, one of their inside backers. He's another guy that kind of flashes when we play him. He's not the best linebacker in the world, but I think he's a quality player that can make plays from time to time. Now time for the Patriots offense versus the Dolphins defense. Obviously this Patriots offense is different than the last time we saw them, as Drake May is now their quarterback, and that has impacted how they've played. I personally thought it was a bad decision for the Patriots to throw Drake May into the fire, but clearly it's been the right decision, as he's looked a lot more comfortable than I would have expected, despite playing behind a poor offensive line with not the best skill players. But in terms of the numbers, Patriots offense is 30th in points per game. Dolphins defense is 15th in points allowed. In terms of the running game, the Patriots are 21st in rushing yards per game, and the Dolphins are 10th in rushing yards allowed. Dolphins run D has been great. Calais Campbell, Zach Sealer are absolute superstars. Benito Jones, Deshaun Hant have been good rotational players. Once again, this is why you come to the Dolphins Dive for all of your information, because once again, I keep mentioning it, but there's people that report on this team that were saying that the run defense was bad, and they just don't know ball. That's why you come to the Dolphins Dive. Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, it doesn't matter. I got you covered. In terms of the passing offense, the Patriots are last in the league, 32nd in passing yards per game. The Dolphins are 10th in passing yards allowed. Once again, a different kind of Patriots offense with Drake May under center. I watched every single snap he had against the Rams, and I was impressed. I was expecting him to look more like a rookie, kind of holding onto the ball longer, but he was playing the position pretty quickly, getting the ball out of his hands fast to his playmakers. They do a good job of making it manageable for him. There's a lot of screens that they're going to run, and they had good connections to his tight ends against zone coverage. So that's something that we saw the Raiders take advantage of the Dolphins last week. And I mean, it's going to happen. If they're throwing the ball underneath, there's going to be windows in zones, and they're going to exploit it. So like, people act like if they get a single reception, it's a bad thing. Like, these tight ends for the Patriots are going to get catches, but if you limit them to 5-yard gains, being able to do that for 15 to 20 plays is not going to be easy for them, specifically when they don't have the other playmakers to go along with it. So like I mentioned, I was impressed by him. He did a good job getting the ball out of his hands, didn't really make too many errors, and was pretty accurate with the football. And then obviously we know he's got good athletic upside with some good mobility and size. So Drake May has impressed me so far. I'm hoping the Dolphins can make him look like a rookie. I would say Anthony Weaver's game plans against younger quarterbacks that aren't the most veteran. I mean, even against Matthew Stafford, he did a good job of disguising looks. So that's what I want to see from Anthony Weaver. Bring some pressure, disguise your looks, and make it tough on this rookie. I feel like against Gardner Minshew, they were willing to kind of let up the short plays consistently and making them drive the field, which I get that game plan as well, but I'd like to see them be aggressive, get after Drake May, and take care of business. Like I said, though, on the flip side of aggression, a screen is a good way to counteract pressure. So they did run a bunch of screens that I noticed. So be aware of the screen passes and just handle business. On both sides of the ball, the Dolphins are just better. So it just comes down to limiting those things that cause good teams to lose to the inferior team, whether it's turnovers, letting explosive plays happen by poor tackling or coverage misassignments. Just be on your P's and Q's. Do what you do, and we're going to win this football game. I'd like to see us get some more pressure, though. Maybe force some turnovers. I feel like we haven't had a full combination of our offense firing on all cylinders and our defense firing on all cylinders. It's always been different games. I want to see a game where our offense punts 0 times or 1 time, and our defense is forcing turnovers, getting 3 and outs. Just a perfect blend of football. Hopefully that happens this week. I was hoping it happened last week against the Raiders. It didn't, but I have the confidence in this team. Players to watch for this Patriots offense, obviously Drake May, rookie quarterback, but I was impressed by his skills. I'm curious to see what it looks like against the Dolphins firsthand. Ramondre Stevenson, not the best back in the world by any means, but he's a quality player, physical runner, can catch out of the backfield, good player. And then Hunter Henry has been Drake May's go-to guy, safety valve, in zone coverage. He finds the soft spots, and the last time the Dolphins played him, they put Jalen Ramsey on him. I don't know if they're going to do that now. Demario Douglas has emerged a little more, Kendrick Bourne as well. So I don't necessarily see the Dolphins putting Ramsey specifically on Hunter Henry all game, but who knows what we'll see. In terms of my lifetime record prediction for the Dolphins, I'm 30-15. My record keeps getting better this season as the Dolphins get some wins. So 30-15 lifetime, that's a pretty good number. 7-3 on the year picking Dolphins games. And my prediction for this week against the Patriots is that the Miami Dolphins win 30-17. Now, once again, that stat line isn't exactly what I'd hope for, as I want to see complete domination offense and defensively, but 30-17, can't complain about a dub going into a huge Thanksgiving Thursday night football game against the Green Bay Packers, which is a huge game for this season. But I appreciate everybody for watching. Comment your thoughts down below. What's your score prediction? Like and subscribe to help the channel grow. Check out the dolphinsdive.com for the best Dolphins merch out there. And until next time, fins up.